guys, welcome to Run Reviews. Today's episode is Interceptor. So here we are. This is the B-grade action films that we've come to know that Netflix sort of produced. I don't know what they're doing with their budget. I'm just assuming they're throwing it at Stranger Things, because you know obviously Stranger Things gets all the publicity and is doing really well and is actually a good show. This movie unfortunately does fall into the B-grade category in terms of the action heroes, where I'm a little bit biased in terms of the B-grade action films because I do enjoy those action films, but I'll make sure that I leave that bias out so that we're straight into it. So here we are. It is a little bit of controversy because obviously this is focusing on Russia shooting out the nukes and they are aiming at America. Protagonist JJ is now transferred to this mission. There's two places that are able to stop missiles being shot. So once the missiles are launched, there's two places in America that are able to counteract all these missiles coming on. And surprisingly, one place is shot up at the start, so we find out there's an informant coming in, and then this other place where our protagonist is now stationed, she is put there and has a little bit of a backstory which they kind of just all of a sudden flash back and throw it at you, where it doesn't really come into play much at all. Like, it's kind of like, here's a backstory, we need something to make her gung-ho ready to go, but it was really odd that they just sort of threw it in there. But this reminded me of Precinct 43, where it's all shot in one location. So again, I know they may have been trying to cut down on budget where they wanted to keep it in one location. So it is shot on this one area, which is essentially a outpost which has all the command places, and then they have these informants that are coming in and they want to do their espionage and be able to take over this facility so that they can't stop the nuclear missiles that are coming over. Our agent, so this is Elsa. She is obviously known for her roles in the Fast and the Furious, so she does have that background in terms of the action hero. I think she actually does a reasonably good job as the action hero. Like, her delivery is in that action role style where everybody in there, like, the script is not good. Like, they've done the best that they can with the script, and like the lines of people that are delivering, but it's felt really forced. There's no real flow with the delivery that they're giving. So I wanted to see the villain. Like, the villain, it doesn't really give you a motive for him. He just kind of is there, and they're just being traders. Like, there's a few twists and turns in terms of who's working with who, and like the twists and turns. I know they got to try and keep it all in. It's not a big facility, so they do need to try and have that little cat and mouse game in terms of who's working with who. But as it unfolds, we have our JJ, where she's trying to deal with the flashback, so that becomes a thing that the main villain he knows about, and he tries to draw on that. And the dad literally only comes in and does his kind of one-liners where he's like, keep fighting or never stop fighting, and that's the only real part that he's in there. So there's a couple of moments where the villains are going to win if she gives up, but because she has to never stop fighting, she's able to good trumps evil and all that sort of jazz. There is a random comic relief where I had to look this up later because I didn't understand where he sort of fell into the picture, but Chris Hemsworth just randomly appears and he's selling TVs. He looks like at the end of Endgame where Thor lets himself go. He literally has that look, but it looks like Thor's starting to get himself back into shape and is trying to live a normal life selling TVs, where the villain is then broadcasting it across, and they flash back to him a couple of times, which he doesn't actually add to the story whatsoever. All it does is be able to show that a live stream is going out to all these different people. There is a little bit of comic relief in terms of he does a couple of jokes here and there, but it doesn't actually add anything to the overall story, where it turns out that obviously our main character, Elsa, is actually married to Chris Hemsworth. So I didn't understand the connection in terms of where it is or how they were able to convince Chris Hemsworth to obviously come into this movie, but there you go. So now we know why he does appear in the film. I did find his comical aspects actually quite nice in terms of breaking up just the pure action in the one location. So obviously the the station is quite dark and dreary, so it's all like dark and grey, where it was a nice change in terms of going there and having that little comic relief just to break it up. It is only an hour and a half film, so it does roll up and wrap up real quickly. But once we're in there and she's fighting all these people all at once, like it does fall into you go after her, so it's always a 1v1 in terms of how she's going to deal with them. There are a couple of corny lines where there is one part where gravity does the work for her, and she does point out that gravity's going to do it, and it all wraps up kind of nicely. They do this weird live stream where obviously the higher ups are trying to tell her what she needs to do, and then she's like, no, you need to back me, and then they're having this back and forth on this random live stream. Like there's a little bit of urgency, and they just randomly throw out there's 14% chance of you winning, and then she refers back to it at the end. It wraps up, and our action hero is our action hero. It's out of the there's one scene, like obviously if you're going to sort of keep this realistic, there is one scene where she actually gets hold of a submachine gun, she shoots down the hallway, and then obviously we need to progress our story a little bit more, so our villain even gets a little bit of plot armor, and surprisingly with the amount of shots that she shoots down this hallway, he's able to run in a straight line and nothing hits. So either she wasn't trained very well, or the slut's really off on that gun, or we're just falling into that, action hero trope where you need to be able to have that final confrontation. But overall, I didn't mind it. Like, you're not going in there to have your mind blown in terms of not even visual effects, but like storytelling. The acting's not great. Majority of the cast are really poor actors. So if you're going in there and you want something that's well acted, well delivered, this isn't for you. Like, give it a miss if you're looking for anything more than your standard B-grade film. But if you do like those B-grade action films where, the hero is going to Rambo their way through, then give it a look. It's not too bad if you're looking for that. Don't come in with an open mind. Don't come in expecting anything real exciting. So, yeah, let me know if you've seen it in the comments below, and you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.